Hey guys, today we're going to talk about a store that I recently visited in Alpena, Michigan called Bob's Bullpen. So let's go ahead and talk about them. If you guys want to get to the pickups here, you don't care for explaining my story out in Bob's Bullpen, just skip to this time code up here so you can get straight to the pickups. But if not, then just stick around and feel free to listen to my story on Bob's Bullpen. So Bob's Bullpen, they do multiple things. So they're in Alpena, Michigan, and they are a comic book store, a video game store. They're also a cafe, and they do have an arcade as well. They're also a place where if you want, you can rent out space for a day to celebrate someone's birthday there, and you have just access to eat in the cafe and have the whole arcade to yourself as well, which is pretty awesome of them to do for that. And they've been around for a few years from what I noticed, and they're in Alpena, Michigan. And if you recall from my other videos, I go to Chaotic Games there as well, which they've been around now for 13 years. But I never heard of Bob's Bullpen. It's as long as I've been around Alpena, I never knew that they were a thing until when my buddy Brightheart told me about them. That I just had to. Next time I go, I definitely have to pay him a visit, and that can only be on Saturdays, given how my work schedule is. And if you guys seeing these shots here, if you see that display case, they have a PS5 in stock, at least when I went to visit there, and that's caught me off guard because that was the first PS5 I saw in person. That is not mine. I just got a kick out of that. But yeah, as you guys can see, they got an assortment of comic books. They have ones that range, from DC, Marvel, what have you. They even have a bunch of art books there that be what feels like 300 plus page books of, say, from Castlevania, Final Fantasy, Zelda. So they got many different franchises, art books that are based on that stuff. They even have really nice posters printed across the top. They're all framed that you can get for pretty good price. That one of them I got was you can't see it in the shot here, but it's a Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask one that you see right there. It is based on the artwork they did for Majora's Mask 3D that they did for the 3DS, but I'm glad with that poster they didn't put the 3D logo on there, and I personally love Majora's Mask a lot as a Zelda game. How really disturbing the game can get at times, when at first glance it doesn't seem like that, but if you really pay attention for what's going on in the games, God, this game can get really disturbing. So yeah, I'm glad I got that to be a nice display piece. Then for these games here, I picked these up at in their display case you saw on the far right side of the store there, and the three of these, the first three here, these were the ones that I noticed I really wanted, and this fourth one was just something that I is oh, that's one game. There's that price, sure, I'll get it, and it's part of a series that's very popular amongst the whole industry and stuff. Then when I came back and realized what it really was, I'm I couldn't believe what I just picked up here, and I did not know about it whatsoever. But during that whole times, me and Brightheart, we did order pizza there, and as long with some drinks, we a nice thing they do, if you order in their cafe a meal, or in me and Brightheart's case, Bob and Wendy, they're the owners there, they were willing to, if we get a whole pizza along with some drinks, so then we also got 30 minutes free in the arcade. And that's where I first played Ghosts and Goblins, the very first time I ever played a game in that series, as well as some fighting games Street Fighter is what we played there, and a couple of some other arcade games I never played before. I played Pong against him, as well as NBA Jam for the first time. It's actually a fairly fun game. It's though it's not something that personally I would keep playing, because for the most part I don't care for sports games at all. Even the objectively fun ones for whatever, basketball, football is I don't care. Golf and Rocket League back then was a lot more fun personally. Then After that, when we got the pizza was done, then me and Brightheart, we went back to his place so we could eat there, as well as go through all of my pickups that I did go that same day. I also went to Chaotic Games for my second trip, which you guys saw my other video I recently did on them, where I got a lot of stuff from them. Highly recommend you check that out, because I got a lot of good stuff in there, in my opinion. And as we were just talking, and we were tearing off stickers from all of the games that I got, and as I was cataloging my games, which the way I catalog my whole collection, I use the app CLZ Games. It's a very good app where you can just scan the barcode on your games, and it connects to a database which is price charting. And it will list the game in a list, and you can make different listings. So say one listing for PSP games and 3DS games, Switch games, or what have you. And they also will list, because it connects to price charting, roughly what the game goes for online, usually for all retro stuff. And you can instantly connect to price charting and see a history for what it goes for and all of that. But as I was going through these games, though, when I got to this fourth game here, and so I was going for, I was mind blown there. But nonetheless, let's go and talk about the games that I picked up here so we can get to it. First one is Dexter. Dexter is a game that, for a while, I just haven't had it for the PSP, but as another kind of surprising thing, I still don't have a PSP where I can play all my games here, at least, officially in this capacity. But Dexter was always one that I wanted to pick up for the system, because this was a kind of a benchmark title for the PSP, where it really showed off what the system was capable of. That this was on the level as a Jak and Daxter game, just a big 3D platformer that with graphics comparable to what you get on the PS2, and the gameplay still in this is still a lot of fun. So if you are in the PSP, this is definitely a must-have title. This next game, I used to have this on the 3DS back then, but I think way back then I traded in for other stuff, because that was kind of the only way I could get mostly new games and stuff. But this one is Resident Evil Revelations. Revelations, this version, this was how the game originally came out. This was meant to be a 3DS game. Then they later did port this to every other platform since then. If there was a new platform, Revelations is gonna be on there pretty much. And this game really shows that this was really meant to be played on the 3DS or a handheld, because graphics, no matter what version you're playing, even on high settings on PC, it just looks very muddy, plain, low res. And the enemy variety is very limited, because they can only put in so much for the 3DS. But this game still is impressive on the 3DS, that they managed to get a game like this running on that this is definitely one of the games that had pushed it to its limits. And I think this even came out exactly 1 year after the 3DS originally came out. It's wow, we already got a title that pushed its to its limits pretty much. But this game in the overall series, due to recent entries, this really is turning into a game where you really can just skip this title. It doesn't have much relevance in the overall story of the series, and with newer games, the gameplay is just arguably just much better than this one, honestly. But still a fun game to play though, for sure. But if you're casually into the series, you can honestly skip this entry right here. But if you're a diehard Resident Evil fan, definitely add it to your collection. This next one, this is possibly, the series is my favorite strategy game series out there, and I was absolutely ecstatic when Nintendo announced yeah, we'll bring the series back. But and it was coming out December, but then I learned yesterday that the remake is delayed to next spring, unfortunately, which is fine. They can definitely take their time to make that game, to make sure it's perfected and hopefully balanced as well compared to the original versions. But this was a game that I did have back then. I don't know why I got rid of it. I can't remember how I got rid of it. I'm sure like I traded in, but don't remember my reasons for doing it. But very glad to have it back, and it is Advance Wars Days of Ruin. Days of Ruin is it is considered like kind of like the black sheep in the overall series, due to like the sudden change in like art style for this game with its the tone of its story and everything. The story, it is, admittedly, it's not too creative. Like, it's very predictable of, like, what all the characters are and stuff. But the pacing of the story, though, I thought was pretty cool, though. I thought it was really good, that, it introduced, like, twists at the right time. Like, the pacing of it was overall very good. The music also is, like, awesome overall. And I'm really, I'd say this game was, it definitely did interesting things for the series with how it changed, like, the CO powers and stuff that I say this game, like, deserves a lot more love, and it has gotten it, like, over the years, honestly, but, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably my favorite game in the series so far. But, yeah, I cannot wait for the remakes, though, Advance Wars 1 and 2 on the Switch, that I'm gonna play that a lot, and hopefully like all my friends, if you guys want to play with me, is like we can do on like our Discord servers, like connect with matches, like I'd be more than happy to play with you guys online. Alright, so moving on. Last game here, like I said, when I went into the store, I mainly was focused on these games right here. And this last one, it was just one is like, oh, that's like a familiar series and that's a good price, so like I'll pick that up, sure. But I was mostly focused on these, like I said. So when I came back to Bright Heart's home, scanning through these games to get them in my CLZ games, then I saw like what the price it goes for. I was just like shocked of like what I paid for this game compared to like what it really goes for online. And I'll tell you, like, I paid $18 for it, and when you guys see this, like, you are gonna hate me. It's Castlevania Order of Eslisia. I think I said that right, but I'm sorry if I butchered it. Yeah, I'm not lying. I paid $18 for this, and I was shocked to learn like what this really goes for online. There is one problem with this copy, though. Admittedly, it does have the case. It does have the authentic game right there. And it does have, this is their business card here, it's not part of the game. It does have the like health and safety sheet right there, as well as like the Wi-Fi connection sheet, but it's missing the manual, unfortunately, which down the road is like, I can find that online. But even if this was missing like the manual, like it should go way more than what like I bought it for. But hey, I am not gonna complain about that I definitely scored pretty good on that game right there. But yeah, honestly, that will do it for this video. Do share with your friends, rate this video, and if you're in Alpena, like do stop by Bob's Bullpen. It is an awesome place. Bob and Wendy, they're pretty awesome people in there. And if you got like friends, family, or hanging out with like, they got like a nice cafe, good arcade, you can go in there and hang out. And you'll possibly find like deals like this here, because like a tagline they have for their store is like they tend to like sell games like less than they go for online, which is definitely awesome, because for some people, if they're living out of town, like they want to drive here and they see like price for some of these games same exact as they go for online, well, like what's the point of like driving all the way out here when I can just buy the game online, because like I'm spending gas money at the same time as well. But hey, it is what it is for first world problems, I know. But yeah, do appreciate it. Rate this video, share with your friends, comment below of like your thoughts on this, especially on this Castlevania game here I picked up, and do subscribe for more content like this in the future. Until then, guys, see you next time.